The electromagnetic coils hummed with deadly precision as Aliana adjusted the targeting parameters on the UES Prometheus's primary railgun battery. Outside the reinforced viewport, the Krill battlecruiser hung in the void like a mechanical predator, its energy shields shimmering with alien geometries that defied human understanding. Range, 4,000 kilometers and closing, James announced from the tactical station, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. Their beam weapons are charging. Estimate 30 seconds to optimal firing solution. Aliana's jaw tightened. The Krill had mastered energy-to-matter conversion centuries before humanity stumbled out of its solar cradle. They could teleport across star systems, materialize weapons from pure thought, and bend space-time like children folding paper. Humanity's first contact with them had been a massacre 17 colony worlds, reduced to radioactive slag before anyone understood what was happening, and yet, here they were holding the line. Fire solution locked, Aliana said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Projectile, tungsten carbide penetrator, mass 50 kilograms, velocity 0.25 c. James glanced at her, a grim smile touching his lips. You know they're going to call us primitives again if we survive this. Let them. Aliana's finger hovered over the firing control. Primitives who are still alive. The railgun discharged with a thunderclap of released energy. The tungsten penetrator accelerated down the 300-meter barrel, its velocity climbing exponentially as magnetic fields stronger than a magnetar's surface propelled it forward. In less than a second, it crossed the void between ships, the Krill cruiser's shields designed to deflect coherent energy beams and exotic particles might as well have been tissue paper. The kinetic projectile punched through them without slowing, carved through the hull like it was aerogel, and detonated the antimatter containment on the far side. The cruiser blossomed into an expanding sphere of superheated plasma. Target destroyed, James reported, already scanning for the next threat. But we've got problems. 4 more Krill destroyers emerging from quantum fold. They're adapting, Aliana. Shield frequencies are fluctuating to disperse kinetic impacts. Aliana pulled up the tactical overview. The Krill fleet had humanity outnumbered 3-1, outgunned by orders of magnitude. Their ships could appear anywhere, anytime. Their weapons could unmake matter at the quantum level. By every logical metric, humanity should have been extinct within a year of first contact. But logic, Aliana had learned, was a poor predictor of survival. Switch to cluster munitions, she ordered. Fragmentation pattern Delta 7. Let's see them shield against 10,000 ball. Bearings moving at relativistic velocities. The truth that had saved humanity was embarrassingly simple. The Krill had leapfrogged past ballistic weapons so long ago that they'd forgotten how to defend against them. Their entire military doctrine assumed enemies would use energy-based systems. Why wouldn't they? Energy weapons were elegant, efficient, and infinitely more sophisticated than hurling metal through space, but sophistication didn't matter when a gram of matter traveling at a significant fraction of light speed carried more kinetic energy than a nuclear warhead. James executed the firing solution. The Prometheus's secondary batteries spoke in rapid succession, each railgun sending a shotgun blast of tungsten spheres toward the approaching destroyers. The Krill ships tried to evade, their quantum drives allowing for impossible maneuvers, but at these velocities, prediction mattered more than reaction time. 2 destroyers simply came apart, their hulls shredded by the hypervelocity impacts. A third managed to fold space and teleport away, but materialized directly into the path of another volley. Only the fourth survived, limping away with catastrophic damage. They're retreating, James said, disbelief coloring his voice. The entire fleet is pulling back. Aliana watched the Krill ships vanish into quantum folds, leaving behind the wreckage of their dead. She felt no triumph, only exhaustion. This was the 47th engagement this month. Humanity was winning battles, but the war was far from over. Stand down from combat stations, she ordered. Get me damage reports and casualty lists. James began compiling the data, then paused. You know what the xenosociologists are saying, right? About why we're winning. Aliana raised an eyebrow. Enlighten me. They think we're too stupid to be properly advanced. James's laugh was bitter. The Krill spent 10,000 years developing technology that manipulates reality at fundamental levels, teleportation, energy matter conversion, quantum consciousness. They assumed any spacefaring species would follow the same path, but we didn't. No, we built bigger railguns. James shook his head. The Council of Species is fascinated. Apparently. We're the only civilization in recorded history to achieve interstellar travel while still using projectile weapons. They're calling it the human paradox, advanced enough for fusion drives and quantum computing. Too stubborn to give up kinetic kill vehicles. Aliana thought about the engineers back on Mars, working around the clock to build even larger railguns, to accelerate projectiles to higher velocities. Humanity's entire military-industrial complex had pivoted to a single principle. If you can't out-tech them, out-Newton them. Maybe we are backwards, she said quietly. Maybe the Krill are right to call us primitives. Does it matter? James met her eyes. We're still here. Outside the viewport, human ships gathered in formation cruisers bristling with railgun batteries. Destroyers carrying missile pods loaded with dumb kinetic warheads. Carriers launching fighters armed with good old-fashioned autocannons. It was a fleet that would have looked familiar to a 21st century naval officer. Aside from the nuclear pulse drives, primitive, unsophisticated, backwards, and utterly, devastatingly effective against enemies who'd forgotten that F equals Ma'a. Aliana pulled up the tactical display one more time, studying the deployment patterns. 3 light-years away, a human research station was experimenting with captured Krill technology, trying to reverse-engineer their teleportation systems. Maybe in another century humanity would have energy weapons and quantum drives, but for now they had railguns. And railguns, as it turned out, were enough. Set course for Rally Point Theta, she commanded. And James? Prep all magazines. Something tells me the Krill haven't learned their lesson yet. James grinned. Railguns first, teleporters later. Railguns first, Aliana confirmed. Teleporters later. If we live that long? The Prometheus turned toward the stars, its railgun batteries still warm, ready to teach the galaxy's most advanced civilization a lesson in classical mechanics.